After the accident, she lost his memory. Every once in a while, Unsu remembers someone. It also feels a bit sad. That day when Unsu replaced her mother-in-law to work as a maid, the staff asked her for an ID card. She was a bit awkward, because John Ji-yu had always used the excuse not to have an identity card to hide the truth. Unsu could only lie that he forgot to bring his ID card. So the staff had to arrange for her to come to the kitchen to help first. In the elevator, Jong-hoon saw Unsu again. He hurriedly went out to look, after looking around and couldn't find it. He ran out and asked the staff, "Has a girl named Unsu come here recently?" The employee said Unsu just finished work. Unsu wanders the streets alone. Then she remembered that the employee just said she wanted to come to the company to work. But you must have a valid ID to be admitted. So Unsu went to the police station to do the paperwork. But suddenly my husband called again. Unsu heard that her husband had just returned, forgot to make an ID card and ran straight home. On the other side, Jong-hoon just got off work when he met Dong-yeon. He knows Jong-hoon has no feelings for his sister. Now that Jong-hoon knew that Unsu was still alive, the two of them would be over. So he asked Jong-hoon to skip the engagement and get married. But Jong-hoon doesn't understand why he has to be in such a hurry. Dong-yeon just kept quiet and didn't say anything. That day Jong-hoon was eating with Se-yeon, when he heard someone calling Unsu's name. He ignored the fact that Se-yeon was calling me to run over there and check it out. "Excuse me. I have a question. Are you going to do something?" Sorry, for having the same name as an acquaintance of mine." Se-yeon felt very angry, so she took the bag and took it home. Jong-hoon ran after her and explained to her that he just wanted to come out and see how it was. Se-yeon angrily said it's been 6 years and he still hasn't forgotten. She ran after hearing the name, completely ignoring her feelings. She wasn't even as good as someone who had been dead for 6 years. In the end, I have to compete with someone who has never died, having to stand behind the woman who has waited for him for so long. She turned her head and prepared to leave, suddenly turned around and told Jong-hoon he wanted to get married right away. If you have not won the heart, you must keep the person. That day, John Ji-yu looked at Unsu who was fast asleep. I remember the other day when we talked to Taesong. I don't know if Taesong was sent by Jong-hoon after all. The one who told me to handle Unsu is the chairman Kang Man-bok, or is not related to you. What, have you thought about it yet? Do you want to hand her over, or disappear together? What if they don't want to? She's a dead person. If the dead person is still alive, then the living will feel very troubled. The lover who always remembers the old lover is like when two people are sitting in a restaurant. Jong-hoon heard someone with the same name as his ex-girlfriend ran over to check it out. Se-yeon's nose twisted all the time. She knew Jong-hoon had no feelings for her. He agreed to be engaged to her just because he obeyed his parents. She felt her brother was right. Definitely grab this man quickly. So she called Jong-hoon and told her to skip the engagement and get married. He said he had to consult his parents first. On the other hand, John Ji-yu is afraid of Unsu remembering everything. Then he told her that he wanted to leave this place and go back to his hometown to live. Unsu said that she didn't want to go back for the time being. She felt this place was very familiar. The next day, Unsu received a call to work again. She remembered that she didn't have an ID card, so she told Yoongu that she wanted to go do the paperwork. John Ji-yu was afraid that she would know her true identity if she left, so he said he would go to work for her the next day. For years, John Ji-yu has kept lying about making her registration missing. But actually he has never entered the police station once. Jong-hoon looked at the handkerchief and recalled the last time he accidentally met Unsu. In his heart, he had a very strange feeling. Couldn't help but call her to make an appointment to return the towel. When he went to the store to buy coffee, he remembered that Unsu likes to drink hot chocolate. So he bought 2 cups for her to choose from. "Then give me the chocolate." "Thank you. Do you like hot chocolate?" "That's right, like it. I like its fragrance, very warm feeling." I heard the reason for liking is also very similar. Jong-hoon is more certain this is Unsu. Moreover, she also felt her heart beat faster than usual. Se-yeon came to the cooking show when she accidentally met Unsu, suddenly meeting the person who should have died 6 years ago. Se-yeon almost fell out of her eyes. She immediately asked Unsu what his name was. "Here you say not the same person. But why are they so similar?" Unsu went downstairs to take out the trash when he saw Jong-hoon driving by. He quickly ran down to help her. But Se-young was afraid that Insu would find Jong-hoon, so she went to find it. Knowing that she was taking out the trash, she went downstairs to look for more. But she searched and couldn't find it. She didn't know that Jong-hoon actually met Insu a long time ago. Now the two of them are still having a good time talking to each other. After Jong-hoon found out that Insu only worked here for a day, she quickly took out her business card and said she could come to her company to work. Insu thanked and returned home. Se-young couldn't find Insu, so she was a little scared. A dead person cannot come back to life. There are many similar people in this world. There are many. The woman who saw her love rival should have died 6 years ago. Now that it appeared right in front of my eyes, I was extremely worried. She was afraid that if Jong-hoon found out about this, they wouldn't stand a chance. Surely she would not allow this woman to ruin the marriage she had worked so hard to get. So she called Jae-yeol to confirm if Insu passed away 6 years ago. What? That's right. The police confirmed it was dead. After getting a satisfactory answer, then she consoled herself that the person who had passed away could not come back. But she didn't know her brother and Jae-yeol purposely kept it hidden. Wanting to protect Insu, Jun Ji-yu warns him if Tae-sung dares to touch his wife. I will tell Jong-hoon everything. The story of why Insu had an accident, why she became his wife now. Tae-sung was not afraid, and turned to threaten Jun Ji-yu. Does she know? It was you who made her like that. What if she knew the truth? It will certainly feel very scary. Living with someone who wants to hurt you for 6 years. You will lose her. No, not just lost. She will resent him for the rest of her life. Cursing him. Yoongu was told that he hit a weak spot so he couldn't say a word back. He gets angry and tries to hit Tae-sung. But now he is no longer free to play with you. He gave Jun Ji-yu one last warning. Quickly get Insu out of this place. If not, it's at most a fish in a torn net. Jae-yeol is very annoyed with Tae-sung's ability to work. So prepare to move him out of Seoul. When Insu was walking on the street, then suddenly a woman called back asking if she was Insu. She was a bit surprised, but still said no. The woman said it was really too similar. Then she left, so Insu called her again and asked. She asked her grandmother about Insu, knowing it was an orphan. She has a boyfriend who loves her very much. Since 6 years ago, Insu has been missing. Insu heard that the time was just as good as the time of her car accident. So she kept asking about Insu's address. After learning her identity, Insu began to fall into contemplation. Are you Lee Insu? That's Insu. Maybe I'm Insu.